Now, before this starts, I need to apologize for horrible editing or vocal stuff because I have problems with stuttering and stuff during recording or talking in general. So, I'm sorry about that, and plus I'm not the best editor in the world. I just use CapCut because I'm simple and I'm also pretty lazy. So, just know that I put a lot of passion into this video in general, but I'm just not the best at editing. Sorry. So, I'm very sorry if you get bored. Okay. A lot of people I know have probably been waiting for this video, and it's finally here. My autism, an entire video series made on my crappy MacBook Air. It's a whole video dedicated to one of Lobotomite's fictional husbands, which is not just an excuse to talk about them. This video will be dedicated to one of the characters I most recently became obsessed over, actually. Back in January of this year, I got into a series you may all know, judging by the thumbnail and title, obviously, called Banjo-Kazooie. You probably just see it as a little game about a bear and a bird trying to get Banjo's sisters back from the evil witch Gruntilda, right? I did too, before I learned about the second game, Banjo-Tooie. It all changed after that, all because of one character. My friends watching this may already know who I'm going to talk about, and they're probably right. This video will be dedicated to King Jingling, king of all things Jinjo. I have no idea how long this video will be, or if it'll even sound good, but I need to get it out somehow, and the way I chose is letting a bunch of people on the internet make fun of me. Probably. Now, if you don't mind, get comfortable, maybe grab a drink and some scones, and have fun listening to me rant about the Jingster for a whole video. Well, we're finally out of that boring intro. Now we can... Wait, I should probably... Yep, I'm a Jinjo. Well, at least for this video. Well, now we can actually start the video at least. I feel I should first explain who King Jingling is briefly, so people who only remember this game from their childhood, or just didn't care to remember his name, will know who I'm talking about. In basic terms, he's the first person you actually meet when first getting into Jinjo Village. King Jingling is a larger than average yellow Jinjo wearing a standard royal outfit, if you would. He always seems to be pretty chill and uses more slangy vocabulary compared to the other characters. He is also mostly seen in his throne room with his pet at his side. Most people call the pet Toots because it strongly resembles the past character from Banjo-Kazooie in Gobi's Valley, also named Toots. I like to think King Jingling adopted them because they ran and got lost. He is also a minor character in Banjo Pilot, serving as the host for the Jinjo Grand Prix, saying that only the best of the best get in it, and that is also a highly secret event, for some reason. Along with that, he also plays a minor role, yet slightly bigger, in Nuts and Bolts inside of Showdown Town. He runs the Bingo Palace and also talks about Jinjo window cleaning. Finally, along with that, he also technically has a small role in Grunty's Revenge, but we'll get to that later. And now you may be asking, but Lobotomite, you just explained he doesn't even play that big of a role in the games. Why do you even care about him? And I'm here to prove you wrong, despite what I just said in the past few seconds. He is an actually important character in the story and lore of Banjo-Kazooie as a whole, and I'm not just saying that because he's my hubby wubby boo boo bear chocolate delight, okay? I will explain it to you throughout this video on how he's so charming to me and how much he does show about the story of the game in general. Okay, well, he's not the most important character in the game, but he has some interesting lore and questions he puts out. Okay? So, now that you're all in the loop of things, back to Banjo-Tooie, the main game everyone knows King Jingling from. I have to start by saying I love the way he's shown in this game. His dialogue helps him stick out from the rest of the cast because of how chill he is. He just sounds like a dude you want to hang out with, yeah? Now, back to his actual role in the game. Basically, his role in Banjo-Tooie starts when the bear and bird first go to Jinjo Village. Wait, Jinjo Village? You're telling me there was a whole village of Jinjos and we didn't even know about it in the first game? In Banjo-Kazooie, I just thought they just flew away somewhere, not that they had an actual home. This simple fact makes a lot of questions, like how long has this been here, and what is the Jinjo's culture like? I also find it interesting how they have a literal form of government in the form of King Jingling as a monarch. Anyways, back on track. As Banjo goes to Jinjo Village, you try to go into one of the Jinjo's home, and you somehow hear King Jingling telling you, they're all gone! It tells you to meet him at his throne room so he can tell you what happened. And then he shows you his palace, which is also seemingly completely gold? He then says, this is my palace. Not bad, eh? Just come on in and see the Jinkster. Absolutely no one calls him that. He's such a dork and I love him. Oh my god. Afterwards, you go inside his palace to hear about what happened to the Jinjos. He then goes on to say, yo, what's up? And explains how they were all scared away by the big machine, aka the HAG, or Hag that was featured at the start of the game. And he tells you to go and retrieve them for a kickball contest between the Jinjos and the moles. My god. After Kazooie talks about how that's not really that big of a deal and how it's kind of bullshit, he explains how they have a very serious rivalry between the Jinjos and the moles, and it would mean trouble if they don't show. Uh-oh. Okay, first of all, I find it really funny how he says he would prefer it to be quiet. Yeah, he doesn't really care about his people, but he has that big tournament coming up, so he kind of needs them back. I'd also like to add, inside of his manual profile, it says he'd be more than a little red-faced if he can't field a team. Which, first of all, I find really cute, and second of all, shows that he really cares about sports. Huh. Afterwards, he gives Banjo a Jiggy as motivation and tells him to go see Jiggy Wiggy in his temple, and then shows him the way. I also love Jiggy Wiggy and have a lot of questions about their religion, but we're not going to talk about that because we're focused on King Jingling right now! Also, before you ask, in the, dialogue, Banjo often says Dingling instead of Jingling as his name. It's just a running gag. It seems to annoy King Jingling, but he doesn't say anything about it until the end of the game, which I might show later, I don't know. When Banjo and Kazooie leave his palace, Kazooie talks about how she likes Toots, his pet. One of the only compliments she's ever given someone. Obviously, she chose the best character. But then, Gruntilda is revealed to have been watching this interaction and calls Jingling a traitor before zapping him and stealing his life force, making him a zombie. This also raises a lot of questions. Was Jingling a past worker or ally of Gruntilda? Jingling and the Jinjos seem to already all have history with Gruntilda, actually. This was that role in Grunty's Revenge I was talking about, where Banjo and Kazooie go back in time to see a beheaded King Jingling statue in Spiral Mountain? This shows that Gruntilda most likely took Spiral Mountain from the Jinjos, which also used to be their home, and took it for herself. Which is insane? I now understand why the Jinjos get scared of her so easily. I don't even want to think about what happened during that. This also shows that King Jingling is old. Very old. It seemed that Rare was going to try and show more lore about the Jinjos in the future, but not being able to due to reasons. Then, after Banjo and Kazooie save Jingling in bottles by using the B.O.B., or Bob, the machine that zapped Jingling, he talks about how it wasn't much fun being a zombie. I find all of his little lines so cute, and is probably one of the most entertaining characters to me. Besides Kazooie. Sorry, Jingling. He and Klungo then run off to Bottles' house, where his wife is still trying to make him eat very burnt dinner. Ew. Then tells them about how the Baron Bird saved them. He introduces himself and Klungo to the couple. Then he says one of his most known lines, actually. They'll join us later, but for now, let's party! Seems Jingling is a huge party guy. I wonder if he throws parties for the Jinjos, or goes to raves. I also must say, I really love his animation in this sequence. He looks so jolly and alive. I don't know how to explain it. Rare was really talented for its time. Afterwards, it's shown that they may have partied too hard, showing a huge mess of food and decorations. Bottles explained that the party is over, blaming it on how hungry Klungo was. But then the gang goes to play a game with Gruntilda's detached head. very cute and child-friendly, and totally not censored in Japan over real-world cases happening around that time. Also random, but I love this scene. Mumbo wanted to boogie. It is shown later that Jingling was also part of this problem, as he talks about how good Mrs. Bottles' scones were. Kazooie then says that she would have risked to have some left for her, and he says, sorry. I find that super cute, but I also would be mad. Like, if it was our party and you ate all the food before we got there, I would have crashed out. This also shows Jingling as a real fatty and enjoys sweet stuff like scones. I want to try a scone. I've never had a scone. Are they good? Tell me. Well, that's basically it for canon stuff. I really wish there was more King Jingling for this world to see besides the nuts and bolts. Now, I have to have you guys understand, I am a nerd about King Jingling. I am a self-shipper. I love everything about Jinjos. I'm literally wearing a locket and a pin with King Jingling on it as I'm recording this. So of course I'm going to have extra takes on things, or headcanons. I'm going to cover some of those, just for funsies. Okay, get ready for a lot of yapping. My way of seeing Jinjos are just little mischievous guys who love playing tricks on people or each other, but also love playing games. They appointed Jingling because, well, he was the biggest, and I feel he just one day said, yo, I would be a great king, and everyone just agreed. So he got a palace and was now treated as the Jinjo King. He also loves playing catch and volleyballs with the Jinjos, and he also has custom rackets for games like badminton or tennis, and he got his own name on them. He also likes playing video games too with the Jinjos, not just physical ones. I also like to imagine the Jinjos see him as kind of a parental figure, depending on him for guidance, hint why he was appointed king. He also genuinely cares about the Jinjos, but he just gets too hooked on sports. He doesn't want to be embarrassed by the moles, obviously, in front of his own people too. I also think he's always that one guy who always does the food challenges at restaurants, like the ones where you have to finish a mountain of food or super spicy food. It doesn't matter, he will be there. The Jinjos also make Jingling a lot of stuff, like drawings and crafts that they made themselves. And finally, Jingling totally does throw parties regularly, even inviting Jiggy Wiggy, Banjo, Kazooie, Klungo, and even the moles sometimes. Jiggy Wiggy normally passes though, he's obviously not a party guy, and plus he's busy leading his disciples. Well, I think that's pretty much it for this video. I'm very surprised you decided to sit through all this. If you want, leave a comment, subscribe, whatever. If you like my stuff, that means enough to me. This video was actually inspired by many others like it, like the Wreck-It Ralph video on Turbo you may know. It actually got me obsessed with King Candy or Turbo, and I hope to be the one to get people into Banjo-Kazooie, as it genuinely needs more fans. This video would also not exist without my friends, especially Cakes or Delta, Zelly, and Corey. They motivated me to make this, and I hope you guys know you mean a lot to me. Now, let me leave you with this. A Jinjo and a Breagle walk into a bar.
Wow, you really thought that was funny, huh? Yeah, those are my people you're joking about. I can't believe you just made that joke. Wow. I now know what type of person you are, Red.
Whoa, okay, I'm sorry. I didn't know that it was that big of a deal.
That big of a deal? My God, Red. You're like Jinjo-cist.
What the fuck? Are you genuinely calling me racist for Jinjos? I'm literally a Jinjo and I'm married to King Jingling. What are you talking about? Jinjo sis, get out of my face!
Yeah, like, whatever. I'm leaving anyways. You'd be better off with the moles.
Yeah. Jam Jars is kind of hot anyways, so it's okay.
Yo, it's me, the real King Jingling. And I think if you if you like this video, you should totally subscribe, unlike Lobotomite said, because I think Lobotomite is really cool, okay guys? You should support him, okay? If you don't, I'll send my goons after you. Run!